The fictional K-pop group breaking all the charts is actually voiced by some of the most talented artists you've never heard of. The Saja Boys from Netflix's Kpop Demon Hunters just made K-pop history by hitting one on the US Spotify Daily Top Songs chart, making them the first male K-pop group ever to achieve this milestone. But how did an animated boy band from a Netflix movie outperform BTS, Stray Kids, and every other real K-pop group? What does this success reveal about what's wrong with the current K-pop industry? And why are fans saying this fictional group is more talented than most real idols? The chart domination that made history. Let me start with the numbers that are absolutely destroying every real K-pop group's ego right now. On July 3, 2025, the Saja Boys' Your Idol hit one on the US Spotify Daily Top Songs chart, officially making them the highest charting K-pop boy group in US Spotify history. To put this in perspective, BTS's previous record was 3 with Dynamite, in 2020, a song that was specifically designed for Western markets, and became their biggest hit. The Saja Boys didn't just barely beat BTS's record, they completely obliterated it. While real K-pop groups struggled to crack the top 10, this fictional group sailed straight to 1 like it was nothing. The fictional girl group Hunter X from the same movie also hit 2 with Golden, meaning the top 2 spots on the US Spotify chart were occupied by animated characters. Real K-pop groups that spend years training, millions on production, and countless hours promoting couldn't achieve what cartoon characters did in their first week. But the domination didn't stop there. Other Saja Boys tracks like Soda Pop hit 10, meaning they had multiple songs in the top 10 simultaneously, something that even BTS at their peak rarely achieved. The Netflix phenomenon that explains everything. But to understand how this happened, we need to look at the Netflix phenomenon that created the perfect storm for fictional K-pop success. Kpop Demon Hunters hit Netflix on June 20, 2025, and immediately became a global sensation. The film reached Netflix's top 10 in 93 countries, and hit 1 in 33 of those countries. But here's what's really significant: this wasn't just a movie success, it was a cultural moment. The film combined everything that makes K-pop appealing: stunning visuals, high-energy performances, emotional storytelling, and catchy music without any of the industry baggage that turns people off from real K-pop. No dating scandals, no military enlistment drama, no company mismanagement, no toxic fan wars. What made this particularly powerful was the timing. The movie dropped during a period when real K-pop was facing multiple crises: BTS on hiatus, Blackpink barely releasing music, NewJeans dealing with internal conflicts, and various scandals plaguing other groups. Audiences were hungry for the K-pop experience without the real-world complications. The production team that put Saja Boys' success. The music behind the Saja Boys wasn't created by some random Hollywood composers, it was produced by actual K-pop industry veterans who know exactly what makes a hit. Teddy Park, the mastermind behind Blackpink's biggest songs, was involved in the production. Jenna Andrews, who's worked with BTS and other major acts, contributed to the songwriting. But here's what's really telling: these top-tier producers created better K-pop music for fictional characters than they've been creating for real idols recently. The Saja Boys tracks have the energy, catchiness, and production quality that fans have been begging for from real groups. The vocal performances were handled by a mix of established artists and newcomers, including Kevin Woo from UKISS, who brought real K-pop experience to the fictional group. The result was music that sounded authentically K-pop, while being more polished and accessible than most real releases. Who are the Saja Boys? The Saja Boys are the villainous demon boy band from Kpop Demon Hunters, soul-stealing demons who disguise themselves as K-pop idols to lure victims. The lead vocals are performed by Andrew Choi, Samuel Lee, Kevin Woo from UKISS, Nekwav, and Danny Chung. Kevin Woo is the biggest name here. He's a former member of the legendary second-generation group, UKISS, who's been struggling for recognition since the group's decline. Now he's getting more attention as a fictional demon than he ever did as a real idol, which is absolutely wild. But the most interesting voice is Nekwav, an underground Korean-American rapper who's been grinding in the indie scene for years. His work on the Saja Boys tracks is finally giving him mainstream exposure, proving that sometimes fictional success can launch real careers. How fan response to Saja Boys. But perhaps the most telling aspect of this phenomenon is how fans are responding to fictional K-pop versus real groups. The fan reaction to the Saja Boys has been overwhelmingly positive in ways that real K-pop groups rarely experience anymore. Fans are praising the music without having to defend problematic behavior, enjoying the performances without worrying about overworked idols, and engaging with the content without toxic fandom drama. Comments like "finally, a K-pop group without scandals," and "this is what K-pop should sound like" are flooding social media. Fans are expressing genuine excitement about K-pop music for the first time in months, and it's happening because of cartoon characters. The most damaging response for real groups is fans saying things like, "The Saja Boys have better music than most real K-pop groups," and "I wish real idols could perform like this." When your audience prefers fictional characters over real artists, you fundamentally failed as an industry. HYBs Response and the industry panic. But the real K-pop industry isn't just sitting back and watching fictional groups steal their thunder, and their response is revealing how panicked they really are. HYBs' response to the Saja Boys' success has been particularly telling. They released TXT's Eternally special dance practice video in a Demon Hunters style, clearly trying to capitalize on the movie's popularity. The video was originally filmed in 2022, but was shelved after the Itaewon tragedy. The fact that HYBE dusted it off specifically to ride the Saja Boys wave shows how desperate they are to recapture the excitement that fictional K-pop is generating. Even more telling is how other companies are scrambling to create content that captures the same energy as Kpop Demon Hunters. The industry is essentially trying to reverse engineer what made fictional K-pop successful and apply it to real groups. But the most revealing response came from the movie's director, Maggie Kong, who tweeted asking BTS for a collaboration with the Saja Boys. The fact that a fictional group's creator feels confident enough to propose collaborating with the biggest real K-pop group shows how much power the Saja Boys have gained. What this means for the future of K-pop. But the most important question is what the Saja Boys' success means for the future of the K-pop industry. The success of fictional K-pop groups like the Saja Boys and Huntracks is proving that audiences don't need real idols to enjoy K-pop culture. This is terrifying for the industry because it suggests that the concept and aesthetic of K-pop are more valuable than the actual artists. We're already seeing the rise of virtual idols like SPOS avatars and Plave, but the Saja Boys have taken this to the next level by proving that completely fictional groups can outperform real ones. This could lead to a future where entertainment companies invest more in virtual artists than human ones. The most concerning implication is that if fictional groups can achieve better chart success, generate more positive fan reactions, and avoid all the scandals that plague real idols, why would companies continue investing in human artists? The Saja Boys have essentially created a blueprint for scandal-free, cost-effective K-pop that doesn't require years of training or ongoing management. But there's also a positive side. The Saja Boys' success is forcing the real industry to confront its problems. Companies are realizing that fans want good music, compelling concepts, and positive experiences more than they want celebrity drama and manufactured controversy. So here's the brutal truth about how the Saja Boys outcharted BTS. They succeeded because they delivered everything fans want from K-pop without any of the problems that plague the real industry. Don't forget to like this video if you think the Saja Boys deserve their chart success, and subscribe to see more analysis of how fictional K-pop is changing the entire industry.